Hello, hello, good evening, how are we? Welcome to the pickled... no, I'm joking. Welcome to the Hobby Corner, how are we doing? Hope you're well. I hope you're feeling good, you're feeling fresh. It's Friday, and we're about to get our hobby on. So, yeah, it's good to see you all. I'm glad you're all here, and... now, just one moment. I just need to make sure I'm not completely effing this up. Whoop, there we go. All right, there we go. So, I didn't keep myself on mute this time. All right. So, how is everyone this evening? Hope you're well. So, I got a jar of water and my brew for tonight. I thought I'd try something different, so I went for Ghost Ship from Adnems. Never had it before. Old citrus flavors. Kind of smells a bit like someone rubs cigarette into a lemon. But I'll give it a go anyway. So yes, glad you're all here. Thank you very much for joining me. So let's have a look and see who we got in the chat today. We have Mr. Gary Lux. How you doing? We have Void Captain Bazooka, and we got Essex Boys as well. Hope you're all well. Thank you again for joining me. I know there's a much more engaging stream on at the moment with Net1. So the fact that you're all here, I really do appreciate it. So thank you very much. And if it wasn't for the fact that it's my usual slot, I'd be watching that right now as well, because they got quite a lot of people on there. So it does sound wonderful, doesn't it? So anyway, what was I gonna say? Yes. So yes, I know I've got super interesting content today. Where I'm gonna be blocking in all the silver bits on these kits. But I've got tons of other bits and pieces to do as well, so I'm hoping that doesn't take me too long. It's really annoying because a lot of them have chains on the inside of them, of the flowy wispy robiness, and it's getting to that without getting silver all over the ghosty bits that I've already painted. That's the pain in the butt bit. But anyways, we're gonna have fun anyway. So, and you know, might just quickly see how the other stream's going, because apparently they're painting up some Lord of the Rings stuff, and I've ordered myself a big bucket of biostrip, so I'm getting myself ready to strip all my old Lord of the Rings middies and get them all painted up again. I can't wait for the nostalgia thump that's going to give me, definitely. So thanks. Gary Knox is building Gorzag for a break from the Nighthawk. Nice. That sounds awesome. I can't wait to get started with the Oryx, the Iron Jaws, I think they are, that I got. But I promised myself I would hit issue 20's worth of painting, then finish off the flesh eater quartz, and then do the next 10 issues, because it starts getting a bit longer to do each issue, because you get more to fill out with each issue. You know, going back to what you had 10 models to start with, and then you got 20 models by the time you got to fill out another color, and then by the time you get to issue 30 or 40, you got like 20 models that you got to do the same color over. So I'll be yeah, after issue 20 worth of painting, then I'll get the flesh eater course finished. Then I'll get to issue 30. I'll finish off. Actually, I need to start really. I only painted the hammer draft chick, and I haven't finished it. So I'll finish that off, build the Sylvaneth, and then at issue 40, I'll get those Uruks done. And at the same time, I've got to get the Lord of the Rings stuff started, haven't I? Anyways, shall we just phase over? Whoa, look at that. Fancy, hey? Oh, you're doing... Oh, nice. Well then, oh, when in next month is that starting? Is that starting at the beginning of the month? And what kind of challenge is it? Just anything orc, or is it more specific than that? Because that'll give me a good excuse to get those orcs started. It'll be my first time painting orcs, so that'll be exciting. Right, so let's just pop some tunes on. I quite liked that music. That was very that was pumping me up, man. Just a shame. It's just a shame there isn't that many songs on that playlist. That'll do. All right. Hey Venom, how you doing, buddy? Glad you could be here. Fiddly bits, yes. Night Haunt are literally fiddly bits, non-stop. Hashtag non-stop fiddly bits. Right, I need to get a good brush. I don't want to use my. You know what? This is a good chance to flex these awesome new brushes that I got. Ooh, the Fugazi Series Mark III. Oh. So I won this on the raffle that Josh from the Pickle Jar had to celebrate his 1,000 subscribers, and for the longest time I was thinking of doing a similar thing. So he's given me plenty of ideas of how to do it now that he's done it. Cause like I think we both hit 500 subs. I remember, and we had a conversation. What are we gonna do when we eventually get to 1,000? And I was like, you know, I heard doing a raffle is a good way of giving yourself a boost, and giving back to the channel. And yeah, we were like, yeah, we got to do that. So obviously he beat me to it, but yeah, no, I mean, I think raffle will be the way to go, definitely. Be interesting to see what prizes they end up coming up with as well. Oh, he's trying to start a painting chat. G the Hyper Sapien. Okay, alright. Aerox Minis, how you doing, buddy? Glad you could join us. So many legends here already. Built 4 angels last night. Amazing how different they are. Feels compared. Yeah, I mean they're chunkier, isn't it? I see why people like orcs and urks and whatever, because it's bulkier, it's easier to build, and it feels nice and solid in your hands. Where these, you've got to be ever so delicate and ever so. That's why, you know, it's nice to switch between the Stormcast and the Night Haunt now and then. You know, breaks it up a bit. Need to order some new brushes. Well, I mean, Broken Toad are some really good brushes, and the customer service is next to none. Like they are absolutely brilliant. You can just, like, if you have any problems with your product or whatever, you can contact them and they get back to you real quick and happy to help out. So yeah, I just want to try and get some mileage on these Fugazis, because of course I did a review before of the Klinsky Sable ones, and I was comparing them between these Citadel ones, but of course, as a lot of people said, these ones were synthetic and the Klinsky Sable one are not. So a better comparison will be with the these Fugazi ones, because these are also synthetic as well. So that'll be something fun to do. Right. Oh, I'm gonna try the beer. It's really light. Got that burnt oak aftertaste. But not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. It's got a slight bitterness that you would get if you licked the zest before you peel the zest. That is, you know, like some people they grate the zest to add it on. If you don't and you just wash the skin of a lemon and just lick it, that's kind of what that tastes like. It's a weird thing to say, but yeah, essentially that's it. Hey sir, how you doing? Thank you for being here, and Mugwump as well. Whoa, we've got even more legends in the chat. How are you all doing? Yeah, a lot of people are loving Gorzag. It's a nice reimagining of a limited classic mini. So I can see why people have jumped on it. And of course, you know, you got that whole thing that orcs in 40k don't get enough new minis, but to be honest, their range is so extensive, and it wasn't. In terms of miniature production, like I can see things having like a 15 to 20 year cycle, because if you had to replace all your sculpts every 5 years, that'd be very expensive. And you wouldn't have that great a range because you'd have to constantly be pumping out new stuff all the time. And considering Games Workshop do that already, you know, it's one of those things. But to be honest, I mean, let's face it, right? Any new release in 40k is a new orc release anyway. It just needs kit bashing. Yeah. So what is everyone else working on? Let's have a look, see what you're doing tonight. I'm going to be honest, I haven't even stepped out the house today either, so I have no idea what it was like today. It was good weather, bad weather. It did look a bit wet out for a moment, but that was literally like, it looked a bit damp out, but it wasn't raining, and then all of a sudden I get this knock at the door, and it's the postman delivering a parcel for the wife, and yeah, it was hammering it down, literally sideways rain, and I felt so bad for that dude. I was like, hey, yeah, thank you for delivering yet another parcel my wife bloody ordered. There we go, get a bit more light on there. Oh, don't fall over. That's better. Now I can see. As you can see, my brush control is next to none. Like, it is that good. Lick the zest. No, don't. Yes, indeed. Oh, there we go. Froze for a second. Be good to get your thoughts in a few weeks on the brushes. Yeah, like I said, I want to get some mileage behind them first, just to give them a fair test and try all the different sizes and that, like I did with the other ones. You're trying to make pictures with wax, just bits, hasn't it? Ah, well, is that where you draw on a bit of paper with a stick of wax, and then you go over it with like some watercolor or something? Or is it like wax crayons? That's the point, actually. Have we got oh, editing? Yeah, man, I know what that's like. Actually, I don't know what it's like. I haven't edited a video in a few weeks now because I've just been focusing more on getting the playthroughs done. And you know, like I said before, I found that doing it live was a far better, more engaging experience than you know, me recording it and editing it. And it took a lot of time to edit those as well. It takes a huge amount of time to edit a battle report, and battle reports don't tend to do so well, especially if it's for, you know, like playthroughs on Mortal Realms magazine. So I'm just gonna get this camera up a bit more. Just give me some more space. There we go. But I have got a couple of video ideas jotted down, and I will be getting back to doing some videos. I just need to sort out that box room into an office for myself and the missus, because like we're in quite a small place, but we've got this one fair sized bedroom, and because the kids, they're still very young, only 2 and 3, they kept coming into our bed anyway, you know, in spite of us putting them asleep in their beds. It just made sense to buy a cabin bed, which is like a bunk bed just without the bottom bunk, so you got all that space underneath for storage, and the kids fit in that perfectly, top and tail. And then we got our bed in there as well, and then we got like the little wardrobes and drawers and stuff in there, so it's all good. We all fit in there comfortably, we're all happy. And then that meant that it freed up the small room. It's just bigger than a box room really, and it means that my wife can have her little space for all her stuff to do her business that she's just started, and I've got an area as well to store all my stuff. So soon I just need to get a desk and a chair and some shelves, and then I'm good to go. I'll have a permanent hobby corner, which will be absolutely excellent, because I've been drifting around like a homeless vagabond at the moment, doing my hobby from one corner of the house to the next, so it'll be great. Hey Andy, how you doing, buddy? Glad you could join us. You melt the wax on an iron and use that to make weird pictures on Shiny Guard. Ah, okay. You're working on chain rafts and prosecutors, nice. I'll be doing more fiddly stuff this time, adding extra events. Why would you do that? Dude! Alright, if no one has checked out Void Captain Bazooka's Instagram, go check it out. He's been working on very intricate details on his conversion, and it blows my mind how tiny the little bits and pieces are. You don't need to make it more fiddly, dude. It looks great. Hey Pirate Green Pickle, how you doing? Have you eaten your sweets yet? No, I haven't actually. It's very bad of me, but I will be scoffing them tomorrow, as I'm home alone, so I could just guilt-free chomp away and not upset any of the kiddies or the wife. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm using the brushes that I got though, so there we go. Thank you very much to you and Josh for that care package. I really appreciated it. What we got here? Art Green, hello. I thought you were watching the other stream, but you've come back to this. Ah, thank you so much. How are they doing for viewers and stuff anyway? Hang on, I want to get something different on here. So I wonder if they got K-pop on it. Oh, how stupid is K-pop? But like, it's brilliant in its own crazy way. So let's see if they got it. They got K-pop. Alright, now we're gonna have fun. Well, thank you very much anyway for being here. The idea is this big marine needs more power, like the Primarchs and their backpacks. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Right. Actually, I just want to check on that stream. I want to be nosy, say hello. Because I like Nat. He's a good guy.
This is the year of great.
Whoop, turn that down. Fellowship of the Bling, they called it. Crikey. Oh, they are doing alright, aren't they? I'll throw him a like as well. Oh, they managed to get Luke on there after all. Wow. Luke, Crazy Crafter, Ben, Elston and Pickle. Ah, nice. Alright, well I gotta look. I'm gonna be watching that again tomorrow when I have my toast. Stream on stream action, that's right. You prefer Cheggers Goes Pop? No, thank you. Are you painting swishy swirly things? I am indeed. Swishy swirly ghosty things. They're very unpleasant, nasty gits. I'm not too worried about being neat on those candles. You know why? Because they're going to get painted over another time. So, screw it. YOLO! So did you get to finish the He-Man model that you were painting up? There we go. Get some of that on there. So I'm still looking forward to the Warhammer Quest Cursed City. Will I get a chance to play it? Probably not, unless they have rules in there on how to, you know, play the game against yourself. Which would be alright. I wouldn't mind that. Do I need it? Probably not. But I've got the other 3 Warhammer Quest games anyway, so it's a shame not to get this one. And you know, like they don't really print them after so long anyway. They just disappear, which is a shame because some of them have really interesting exclusive sculpts. Like back in the Silver Tower, you had those little 6-limbed like goblins. I think they were like just twisted night goblins, and you never saw them again. Like they never got their own kit. They never came out anywhere. And you know, I always thought, okay, maybe they're sort of leaving them for in the future when they get to redo goblins or something. They never did. I think they dropped that idea. But yeah, Curse City. I mean, you know, like if you were going to redo vampires and you wanted to give everyone a teaser and a taster, that's the way to do it. And there's some really nice, interesting sculpts there. I mean, of course, you got to look past the stupid IP protected names. You know, they got all these ridiculous names now, just so they can copyright the IP. But you look past that, I mean, yeah, man, there's some nice stuff going on there. I can already see a couple of them being like favorites for painting up in a Blanchitsu sort of style as well. You know, like the really flamboyant ones will be the ones that will get picked out the most, and given like a really darkened and sort of grimmer look to them. Yeah, they do look awesome. What's everyone's favourite one so far? I mean, which one are you looking forward to the most? Is it the new skeletons, the new zombies, which I think are quite interesting in concept as well? Or is it, you know, a certain character, the vampires themselves? The vampire hunter is pretty cool. Looks like a proper sort of Van Halen style hunter, but at the same time, like he's walking around with this huge rifle. There we go. I never watched it. Mate, Cheggers back in the day, he was everywhere. Kind of like what's his name, Steve? You know, the one that's on the Saturday Night Takeaway. He does what was it? No, not You Be Framed. Why can't I think of the bloody thing? Catchphrase, that's it. He hosts Catchphrase now as well, but like Cheggers was everywhere, and now you got this guy instead, kind of just doing a bit of everything. The baddie dude with the shovel who goes, oh yeah, that dude is sick. It just goes around ripping up corpses from the ground, like with his big ass shovel, and then like if anyone questions him, he just shivs them with it. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Wouldn't want to meet him on a dark night in an alley. That's for sure. Right, that's one done. See what I mean? These take forever to bloody do. Because this is so spin. It's not like you got these huge. Outside of the robes, you don't have like a lot of flat areas to do, like doing these chains, because they, you know, you got to paint like 3 or 4 different directions. to get all of the chain. It's a real pain. Without getting any on the ropes, you know, it's it's what slows you down. It's tempting just to leave it though, make it part of the ghostly visage, but that's just lazy painting. And I vowed that I was going to get all this done to the style that they put in the magazine, just so all those beginners can have some kind of reference to see. That's another reason why I need to try and catch up as well. Can't leave those poor beginners on their own. Let's bring that a bit closer. Loving all the bad guys and the archer elf. Oh yes, the new no, I didn't mean Van Halen, I meant Van Helsing. There we go. The witch vampire hunter skeletons. Yeah, that's cool. Loving all the bad guys and the archer elf. Yeah, no, that's a nice wood elf sort of thing. Like a lot of people have been like, oh look, it's one that's not kind of twisted with like animal style things and ants and that. So it's giving people sort of hope that if the Kernoff hunters or something like that get a released range, it's not all going to be like half deer and that sort of stuff. Chris Walker's catchphrase, the new ones are impossible. Cheggers got overthrown by Pat Sharp and his golden... Pat Sharp. God. Pat Sharp from Funhouse. Funhouse. God. I mean, how many of you lot watched Funhouse and thought, these kids are stupid, I could do better? Right. And those go-karts just never seem to go fast enough. You know? You're throwing in the lyrics there. Naughty. Fun house, a fun prize to be won. Ah, man. That brings back memories. You're a beginner yourself. Well, judging by your work so far that I've seen in your Facebook groups, you're doing really well. So keep at it. You know, you can only get better. And like I said, you know, like some of the models that you've posted have been really good. I think the last one I saw was the chap on the Dracoline. That's pretty cool. Black Shark Fired Darkness sounds like they're singing Pat Sharp. Really? Still on issue 15. Yeah, but what I'm doing now is only issue 19. That's how far behind I am. Oh, you have a good night, Gary. You'll probably see me on Monday when I do my little playthrough. Kev versus Kev. Sorry, I'm just got this stupid bendy arm and it started to drift off the table a little bit. There we go. I could see the mass of wires and everything. That's a bit better. There you go. Blockbusters. Oh man. You know, Beatles about as well, and what was it, Cilla Black with Blind Date. All those good shows, which look absolutely crap, like when you look back at them now. But that was the height of evening television. Don't know why, but I've got shaky hands tonight. Maybe my blood sugar's low. Maybe I should go get those sweets. I did get out of bed really late today. I don't know why, but I just couldn't get out of bed. And then when I did, it was like 10 o'clock. So by the time I had breakfast, it was kind of lunch. And by the time I had lunch, it was kind of early dinner. But yeah, it was nice. It was a nice toasted sandwich with coronation chicken. Oh, I love me a coronation chicken. It's like the best bits of chicken korma and the sweetness of raisins. It's just like yum. Stick that in a sandwich. It is lush. Uh, 1 year, 1 month. You've had Lincoln Warhammer post 2 of your models. Nice. I'm thinking about picking up some more of those Marvel minis. Oh, you know what? I've looked at the Marvel minis, and you know I've been so tempted so many times by them. But I barely have the blooming time to paint up what I got. And then of course Imperium will be starting in a few months, so I need to get this done. I need to get the backlog done, and free up some space. Otherwise I'm never going to be done, and then I'm going to have a Conquest situation where, like, the night before I get my Imperium stuff, I'll be frantically trying to build and paint stuff. And I don't fancy live streaming for 10 nights in a row, futilely trying to get the rest of Mortal Realms done, because like it was an absolute failure. We had a lot of laughs though. Hanging out just outside my house for live streams. I don't know if the neighbours were impressed though, because it wasn't like I was quiet or anything. I was quite noisy, and you know, it's a fairly quiet neighbourhood. But sod it. That was a good laugh. But the the camping picnic table, one of the kids knocked it over at the end of the last summer, and it just shattered because it was like over 20 years old. And my grandparents, they were just having to clear it, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to take this?" And I was like, "Hey, that'd be cool. And sit outside in the garden and have lunches and stuff," which we did. But it was just stood up against the wall, all folded up, ready to get put away, and one of the kids just knocked it over, just smashed to pieces. And of course, it'd been sitting in a shed for almost 20 years, and it had just, like, the plastic had just gone brittle on it. Still haven't told the grandparents, actually. Whoops. My gran sometimes watches these shows, so yeah, sorry in advance. You got up and ate a lot all day. I didn't eat a lot though. That's the thing though. I only had toast for breakfast and a toasted sandwich for lunch, but like my breakfast was for lunch and my lunch was for dinner, so I actually skipped a meal. Didn't really eat that much. Right, I've watched some Pickle and I watched some Kev. Now I think I must go bed. I've up since 4 and worked over by. Oh dear. Well, you have a good night. Thank you so much for popping by and saying hello and keeping the chat lively. And yeah, you rest up. And yeah, you have a good night. Thank you very much. Oh, you got 2 weeks off. Nice. Really tempted to pick up that 40k magazine. Yeah, it is a good deal, and you know, I'll try and cover it as much as possible. But you know me, like I'll get the first dozen or so videos out kind of timely, and then I'll start falling behind because life just happens. But like I said, hopefully I'll have my own permanent corner, and that'll make recording a lot easier because I'll just set up and go. I won't have to get all the lights, the table ready, the cameras and everything. I'll just have it all ready, and I could just sit at the table, record something, job done. Okay. Oh, why am I being careful? This whole thing is going to be painted up the same. You plonker. Rodders, you plonker. Oh yeah, everything's going cool, man. Just enjoying having a quiet night, painting some minis. And just enjoying the company from you awesome legends as well. Because I'm gonna be honest, like, as fun as it is to paint minis, like I find it quite relaxing in that. You know, I always do prefer building minis to painting them. But it's just without that engagement, without people there to just bounce ideas off, have silly conversations with them and all that. It just, it's not the same. You know, and I grew up in a time when you could literally just rock up to your local games workshop. And if there was a free spot at the painting table, you just sat down and you could be there for as long as you liked. And just hang out, have a good chat, do some hobby, listen to the songs, you know, have fun little conversations with other hobbyists and the staff as well. You know, before all of that changed, where they had to tighten up on how many people they could have in the store and how long for and all that. That'll do. So I want to get these done 100% before the end of the stream. And we're already going on. We're already getting on. So we'll definitely be going up to 10 o'clock. I'm not doing an hour and a half tonight. I'm doing the full 2 hours. And yeah, I should hopefully get all this done. And I'm really putting this brush for its paces, because you know, metallics are quite hard wearing on brushes at the best of times, but you got all this sharp, intricate detail, and it could be scratching away at the bristles right now. And I'm trying to be careful with it, but at the same time I've got to put some speed behind it as well to get it done. So be my true test, really. Hey, just good. How you doing, buddy? Glad you could join us. Hope you're well. And what amazing works of art are you working on tonight? You're near me, aren't you, Kev? If we get the Cursed City boxes, maybe a physical game. Yeah, no, that sounds great. Are you actually in Essex though? That's the thing, because I'm not anywhere near Essex. I'm like smack bang in the middle of Buckinghamshire. So, like, kind of the opposites. Well, not opposite side of London, I think. Really, hopefully not long till we could. Yeah. I'm working on getting my 2,000 point Imperial Fist done. Whew, that's a lot. Oh, Venom retracted a message. Oh, scandal. I wonder what it could be. What did you say? We're at the end of that list already. Oh, that was a nice list. Let's play it again. Oh, I also found a new way of painting Grimdark as well. So of course, like, if you're not already checking out Spray Black Studios, go ahead and do it. He does amazing tutorials on how to do paint schemes, but with a very dark and like battle worn look. And typically he uses like, you know, weathering paint, weathering pigments, and streaking grime, which is this like oil based thing, like paint that you can use. And you know, like I used it for that Stormcast Night Quester to make him look like really weary and battle worn, and it looks really cool. But I found that painting up a whole model and then using streaky grime on it really takes up a lot of time, and you know, like a lot of the transitions between colors and stuff sort of gets lost. So I found a quicker way to do it in like with half the work, which is really encouraging actually, because it means that it's not going to take you forever to do the same throughout a whole army if that's what you wanted to do. So that's going to be in a video very soon, and then it just takes a couple of days to film, because of course you got to leave the streaking grime overnight to set. So that you get the full effect of it. Not before you start removing it. I mean, like, you know, you got to leave it overnight once you've finished playing with it, but you need to paint up the model to start with, and that takes an evening. And then you got to varnish it and let that set before you put the streaking grime on it. Otherwise, when you go to remove the enamel, it takes off some of the paintwork as well. So yeah. I mean, like, we could always just do like a nice little journey around the M25, you know. I used to be closer. Years ago, I was in West London. Oh, it was just gibberish with it. After watching Elston's rant video, I'm getting a zombie beholder. Ah, okay. Well, a lot of these videos are rant videos, so you have to be more specific. Are you talking about the one about not painting minis? Andy got eradicators, tech marine, 2 predators, and a hammerhau bunker. Hammerhau bunker? Or is that hammerful? I think it's hammerful bunker. And I think nice. Interesting to see you haven't got an Imperial Knight in there. But that's sort of been standard for a bit now, hasn't it? You helped me with the last model you did. Ah, that's cool. Leo acrylic strinky grime is a lot faster. It's got to be more precise. Just not wash all over, then remove. Oh, well then, where's the fun in that, eh? Where's the fun in that? I kind of like the whole, you know, like dip, flick, and then start rubbing it away. It's kind of like part of the charm of streak and grime. Like I said, I found a quicker way to do it, and I just need to test it out. So, and if it works well, then I might be using it in my challenge next month, because earlier this month, myself and Rich from the Spray for Black Studios channel challenged each other to doing a Nighthawk model with the grimdark effect, and I'm sure he's put some practice in that time. I haven't. Like, it's literally going to be my one and only chance to do it right. So we'll see. Because that's how I do it. I just wing it, you know. That's how I roll. But yeah, it might save me some time, and then I could focus on doing all the the rusts and the verdigris and all that afterwards. This is a really positive tune going on here. Yeah, too patient. Yeah, pin washing is a pain. Like, you know what? In the Conquest and pretty much all the painting guides that you get from Games Workshop now, they basically teach you to pin wash, right? So for those who don't know, pin washing is essentially you just use your brush to put the wash precisely in the places you want it, like that, you know, along those lines, down the bits that you want, and you're very tidy with it. But back in my day, you would just slather the thing with a wash, or an ink as it was known back then. Then you'd wait for it to dry, and then you'd dry brush all over it, or you'd just start layering the other colours on top, leaving the shade wherever you want it. And it doesn't really matter which way you do it, you're going to get a similar effect, I think. But if you're in the way of dry brushing to get your armies done quickly, then I think just slapping your shades on is the way to go, really. Hey G, how you doing, mate? Glad you could join in. Yeah, smashing out the ghosties. This is the longest bit, really. Is the earlier issues, isn't it? When you start building up the numbers and you got to block in all the silvers and you got to try and not get it everywhere. What are you working on tonight, mate? Well, I say tonight. It's morning time for you, isn't it? Down under. I never found out. Which end of Aussie are you in? Just building your Gorzag. You're still building him? I thought you'd have finished building it by now. Can't be more than like 4 or 5 pieces. Surely. South Aussie. Oh, I thought you was like east or west. I didn't think you were south. I have to refamiliarize myself with the geography. Oh, look at that. Oh, I must have dropped something on this one because that's a little bit broken there, but it's alright, it'll hold. Ah, Adelaide. Okay, okay, nice, nice. Now, would you say that the southern state is nicer than the other states? I mean, like, you can't really class the Northern Territory because there's nothing there, it's just dry, but would you say it's better than Tasmania or Queensland? Or I'm really bad actually, I can't freaking remember. You got New South Wales, then you've got Queensland, and what was it? New South Wales, Queensland, Tasmania, Victoria, Western Australia, and Southern Australia. And then you got the Northern Territory, which, like, it's like the cousin that no one talks about. Not even opened the box yet. Too busy typing. Oh no! Crack that box open, man. I want to see some progress. Which are the best Aussies? North, West, East, or South? There's no one in the north, mate. It's empty. Unless you're talking about like the northern part of Western Australia or northern part of Queensland. I got family in Perth, and they've been quite lucky with, you know, with like all the stuff that's been going on in the world. Perth is quite isolated, so they've been quite alright. But I think it's like I think Queensland hasn't been had a bit of a tough time, didn't it? I'm British, so you can say what you want. So you're an expat, are you? Alright. You went out there for the sunshine, the surf, and the barbecue, right? Yeah, Victoria would have it worse actually, because there's more cities closer to each other, isn't there? Yeah, it's just the nature of viruses. That's why we've been having it so bad over here in Europe, and in the UK as well. And people like to say, oh, you know, some countries in Europe have been less affected, or they've managed it better than the UK, blah blah blah. But a lot of the problem is geography. You know, it's where the cities are, it's how close they are together, how quickly a virus can travel between one city and the other before anyone knows it exists. It, it all ends up, you know, making it worse. And Europe is a very crowded place, you know, so it's very hard to lock down, and especially because um, in the EU, the member states of the EU, they got the Schengen zone, which means, you know, they can move freely between states. Um, so there's no borders essentially, and you know, that means it's harder to stop people crossing over, and then you don't know where the virus is gonna end up. So yeah, Aussie, half of Aussie got it hard, and the other half got it manageable because they could isolate themselves better. uh, Reverend Burst here if we did not. Yeah. You could end up in there legally on a boat. I've thought about moving to Aussie before because they seem to have a bit more to offer. But then I started settling down, you know, and plus I don't think I could. You know, like I don't have any like great qualifications that would put me in a really good job, you know. So if I did move out to Aussie, I don't know what I'd end up doing out there, to be honest. Not that I'm doing much at the moment anyway. You have a good night, mate. Thanks again for joining us. Hope you have a good one, mate. I had a scare and got put in lockdown, but it lasted a few days. Yeah, I know what you mean. So you gets out there, you're all outside, you're all enjoying yourselves, you're all at the restaurants and pubs and having parties and shit. And all of us out in the West are getting done over by this bloody thing. And now they're saying a third wave is on the rise in Europe. To be honest, I don't even know if they can class it as a third wave, because the second wave and the first the first wave didn't finish, you know. Like in this country, we actually got the numbers down to a point where you could consider it as like having a second wave, but we're still recovering from that second wave because of course it was like the winter. Viruses are more prominent in the winter, and so that really sort of did a lot of damage. But yeah, hasn't ended. And it's going to be an issue for years to come, I think. At least for the next couple of years, it's still going to be a thing. And yeah, in all honesty, it doesn't matter how many people shout and scream and blame each other for it still being around. It's just one of those sad things where we are gonna have to live with it for a while. And it was all about managing it, not preventing it, if you know what I mean. Anyway, that's enough of that nonsense. That's very depressing stuff, isn't it? We haven't got to that part of the night yet. Too many big spiders. Yeah, I could do a hobby store. I kind of know the basics of running a shop. Years back, I used to actually be a store manager, and I helped manage a small franchise of Subway shops. It was only 2 shops, like 2 proper shops on a high street, and this small kiosk like place that was like a 20-minute drive away. That was so small it couldn't make any of its own stuff, so we had to make it in the main store and then shove it all in a van and then drop it off 3 times a day. But I know enough about stock, managing the people, the staff, training, payroll. That's sort of end of it. Profit margins and stuff, not so much. They did have some restrictions last year. Yeah, but I mean, it worked, didn't it? Hypersapien Corner sounds good. Or you could call it the G's Hobby Corner. That'd be cool. It'd be like Clerks. We could sell miniatures and sandwiches. Ah, that'd be as amazing as that sounds. That'd be a bloody nightmare for inspections and for health and safety regulations and all that nonsense. Do you know how much paperwork every day you have to fill out in a shop that serves food? It's crazy. Like all the stock intake, the wastage, the usage, any differences in it, how much that all costs. Then you also got to work in like dates and times things are made, when these things need to be put out, stock rotation, temperature checks. You got to do those frequently as well for the walk-in chillers, the countertops, anything that's kept hot as well. It's a big pain in the butt. And then you'd have to do the same, well, not all the same, but you'd have to do similar thing like stock take and everything with the miniatures and all that. You need a lot of certificates for that because, of course, you'll be selling sharp things, glues, paints, and all that. The G's Hobby Corner. We do, yeah, we do have green and black. Yeah, it's a lot to do. And you know, like I used to have to basically work like everyone else, but do all my manager duties as well. So do all the paperwork and everything. So like 1 minute I'd be doing the paperwork, next minute I'd be doing food prep, and then I'd be out with customer service, and then I'd be dealing with customer complaints or special orders. Because we used to have like regular clients from the offices around, because the shops I worked in was in Uxbridge, and there's a lot of businesses there that have their head offices there, like Coca-Cola, and we used to do these platter orders quite frequently, and they would be like big orders. On the odd occasion we'd have to actually stay overnight to bake enough bread and prep the stuff just so it could be delivered on time the next day. And yeah, man, I used to do all of that, and you know how much I'd get paid? I didn't even have an annual wage. I still got paid by the hour, but I only got 50p more per hour than the rest of the staff, and that's why I left. I was like, sod that. I actually left that so I could do a cleaning job. With the London Underground, I became a cleaner on the trains at a depot for the London Underground. Because it paid better, actually. Because at the time, because Uxbridge was outside of the London area, it meant that they could pay me at you know, the minimum wage plus 50p, whereas the cleaner's job I was getting a living wage, because you know, we could get membership with the RMT, so we had the union behind us, which meant that we got decent pay. So yeah, it was, and you know what, it was actually easier work as well. It was less stressful. I had time to just chill. Yeah, I was doing heavy lifting and I was on my feet a lot, but it was in a good way. And again, like I had little breaks in between everything, and you know, it was decent job. Though it did progressively start getting worse. Like when the contract handed over to another company, some of the stuff got stripped away, and it didn't seem right, and that was when I left that. But I also had to leave it because I moved out in the sticks as well. I was born in Hillingdon Hospital as well, but I grew up most of my life in Norfolk, actually. And I moved around a lot. Hayes, Uxbridge, Norfolk, South Harrow, a couple other places. And then we ended up just getting priced out, so we ended up moving to High Wycombe, much to the chagrin of my wife, because of course she hates hills, and High Wycombe is literally a valley with the steepest hills in the world, and they are such a pain to walk up and down. It's not even funny. And the buses are so irregular as well. Like sometimes the drivers don't even turn up, and like, you know, like in London you get used to having buses every 5-10 minutes, right? And they're running pretty much on time a lot of the time. And out here, like sometimes the bus don't even turn up, and you're just like, you know. And until recently I did drive, but Like the first car clapped out, and then I got a cheap replacement just to do me until I could save up for another one. But that clapped out, so now we're muggles at the moment. And that's my life. Welcome to my TED talk. I should start a GoFundMe page, you know. GoFundMe, get me a car. Alright, let's see. You know, let's go for some cinematic music, shall we? What we got here? Ooh, cyberpunk. Okay. Let's try that. Ooh. Oh, I lived in Arrow End as well. The food waste is one of the worst thrown out. Yeah, oh no, but you had to because, like, you know, once the label's up, that's it. Oh, you know Uxbridge, do you? A bit nearer to the tube station, the shopping centres. That's pretty much Uxbridge, you know, and like if you go past that, then it's just like, you know, you got a few neighbourhoods around there, but it's not much else to it. And a college as well. Actually, just down the road, you got Brunel Uni as well. But I don't think that counts as being in the Uxbridge borders. I think it's just outside. You went to Uxbridge for Warhammer as a kid. Oh, wow. Actually, we might have bumped into each other then and not even known it. Because when the Harrow shop closed, Uxbridge became my local, which wasn't too local. But yeah, we might have bumped into each other. You lived in Pinkwell. Oh dear. South Harrow. You were in South Harrow. Oh, we might have bumped into each other, Void. Almost as bad as Wilston. Nowhere as bad as Wilston, mate. Oh, literally. It's like as soon as you go over that bridge, everything's just a lot danker and a lot drearier and a lot dodgier. It's absolutely... Never been to London yet. Well, I'll tell you what, there are lots of places in London that are great and there are lots of places that aren't great. So, yeah. I mean, if you ever do visit London, we can definitely tell you where the best spots are, and where the tourist traps are, so you can avoid them. Oh, no way! How long ago was that? How long ago was it that you lived in Hayes? Because for me, it was... I lived there for 3 or 4 years, actually. In 2 different places within Hayes. This Hayes is actually surprisingly large. It's quite spread out. But yeah, I made that journey quite often, from Hayes down into Uxbridge. Actually, it was just before I started college that the Uxbridge, sorry, not the Uxbridge, that the Harrow one closed. No, it wasn't actually. No, it was just after, actually. It was after I started college that one closed, which was a big loss. But then, like, I started going to Uxbridge College, and then like the Uxbridge one became my local. But most of the chaps from the Harrow store moved over to the Uxbridge one, which is quite weird because some of the Harrow lads were were pushed from the old Ealing one that shut down all those years back. So yeah, crazy world. You were born in '86. Okay, so you're 2 years my senior. I mean, you wouldn't think it, would you, with these boyishly good looks? To everyone else in the chat, I do apologise. We're having a big little walk down. A big little walk? Yeah, I'll say a big little walk down memory lane. I don't know why we haven't like connected the dots before, because like we do chat now and then outside of YouTube. Till about 11 I was okay, so right, okay, so we probably wouldn't have bumped into each other then. That's a shame. Hey Darth Boofy, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Hope you're well. Let us know what you're up to tonight. Just having a little trip down memory lane at the moment. Just realised, you know, like reminding ourselves how small the world can be at times. Love my local Warhammer. You can't get better than what? Ah, your local is Warhammer World. Get wrecked. I like Warhammer World. I've visited it a couple of times. You get a nice sense of I don't know, it's weird because it is like the mecca for Warhammer. Like when you walk into its hallowed halls, you know, you get this little giddy excitement in you. And mate, Bugman's bar is awesome. The food in there is absolutely lush. Like if you ever go to Warhammer World, you have to have a meal in Bugman's, because the stuff in there is just delicious, mate. And you'll be stuffed, I'm telling you, because the portions are huge. And yet they still have larger portions available, like the Ogre Burger. I don't know if they still do the Ogre Burger. That thing was massive. It was like the size of a plate, and it would have like this massive beef patty in there, and it would have pulled pork on top as well. Tons of cheese and sauce. Oh, it's beautiful. And then like a big pile of chips and onion rings with it. Oh, I'm salivating. I'm nearer to Harrow on the Hill, that end of South Harrow, closer to Boschkits. Oh, right, yeah, but not quite there. So you sort of somewhere near you said that end of South Harrow, so you're next door to West Harrow, but you just got Harrow on the Hill up there. And how often do you see the little schoolboys with their little like fancy hats that they got going on there, coming down from the hill? That always made me laugh. And oh, did you ever go to the viewing point up by the church on the hill and stick your hand on the bare metal of the lamppost and the railing just to get electrocuted? That stuff was messed up. I don't know why that happened. Like, it was, I think it was just a case that the lamppost was never earthed properly, But someone figured out that if you put your hand on the bare metal bit and the bare metal bit of the railing, you get a very small electric shock through your hand, and it just make your hands tighten a little bit and go a bit numb, and you'd be like, ah. Yeah, I thought you were 12. You thought I was 12? Oh, thank you. All the wrong side of London for me. I live in Hertfordshire and spent my summers in East London. Hertfordshire's next to Buckinghamshire, isn't it? It's just left a bit. Or is it right a bit? I don't know. When looking at a map, it'll be right a bit. The store in Durham is small. Yeah, a lot of the stores, the big stores closed and got switched in for smaller shops because the rent. They just won't save money on rent. There's some work on McGlavery Stalkers tomorrow and another unit of Living Statue Stalkers. Nice. All the way across the world, but still somehow connected. I know, right? It's cool. The food and yeah. You're off on your second trip to Warhammer World on your birthday in October. Pickles meeting you. Oh, well, you know what? If you know everything works out with lockdown and everything, I might tag along as well if you don't mind. Hopefully by then I'll have a car, so I'll be able to drive up. It's only a 2-hour drive from me, and yeah, that'd be awesome. Have a little meet up, especially because originally we were supposed to have a big old meet up for ChillCon last year, but that got cancelled because of COVID. And then this year got cancelled as well because of all the uncertainty of COVID. So I think that'll be the next best thing, as long as they don't try and extend lockdown until September again. Proper dwarf food. You haven't eaten in there. Oh, you're missing out. They got a hot dog that is like this big. No, scrub that. Have you seen the... You haven't seen it because you haven't eaten there, but they got this giant eclair. And it's more like a cake, right? It's this huge thing. It's like this big. Don't screenshot this and meme it, alright? But the eclair is like this big. Got so much fresh cream in it. A big layer of chocolate on it, which is basically like a big bar of chocolate. It's that thick. You have to snap it. That on its own would fill you. Like, you could chop that in 4, share it amongst yourselves, and it would still do its job. You know, it's absolutely pucker food. Yeah, there you go. Like, even G says so. Only see them if I go over the hill. Yeah, the little hats and the teachers looking like that. Yes. Oh man, I tell you what, it's such a weird place. Like, you go from the hustle and bustle of Harrow on Hill, which is like, you know, like just like any other like college / shopping centre town. You know, you got the two competing shopping centres. You got a big high street on there with extending high streets coming off it as well, and then you just go up this hill, this really steep hill, and you get to the top, and it's like another world. You know, you got all these old buildings, houses subsiding left, right, and centre. You got this old church with a massive graveyard in it with teenagers making out, and then like you got this really pompous private school there with these kids with these fancy little what was it, like wicker hats, I think, or something like that, with a little tassel on it. And the little uniform. Oh my god, it's so it's like something you'd see in like an artsy French film, you know. It's that kind of thing. And then like, you know, and then you just fall down the other side and you're in Oh, what's it called? Oh, what's just past Greenford? I can't remember what it's called. Sudbury. That's it. You get into Sudbury, and it's all just regular suburban area again. You know, it's not really pleasant, but it's not the worst either. But it's just a magical world when you go up on top of that hill, and it's just so it's so funny, and you actually get tourists visiting it for no reason whatsoever, other than that it's got some of the oldest buildings within the boundary of Greater London. Because of course, you know, most things got either blown up or burnt down because of, you know, World War and everything. So, but that's it. There's not really much to go on. Like, he still gets tourists up there. It's so funny. My mate from Watford said it's like Hobbiton. Yeah, it's straw hats. It's so funny. Oh, and that's supposed to be like one of the posh schools in the country. Like a lot of our MPs come from. You know, they usually either come from there or Eton, which is on the other side of the river Thames from Windsor. And Windsor, half of it is like quite grand and posh. You know, you got the castle, you got the high street, you got some of the area around it is quite nice, and then the rest of it is kind of like eh. And then you cross that river, this magical bridge that goes across the River Thames, and then it's just this other world completely. You know, and it's like this little quaint little place, all these little like fancy shops that no one ever bloody goes in, and I don't know how they ever make money because they're so like outpriced and ridiculous, and the stuff they're selling, most of it isn't even practical stuff. And then like you got these grand houses in the area as well, and then you got the bunting everywhere. Oh mate. A boater, probably, yeah. Churchill and Henry VIII went there, yeah, yeah. It has its own church. Like that's how grand that kind of private school is. It has its own church, and it speaks a lot about the history of it as well. But my God, the parents pay over the odds to have their kids look like little French kids. Oh dear. Good old trips down memory lane, eh? I haven't thought about any of that for so long. Oh. But anyway, yeah. Warhammer World, get yourself in Bugman's, get yourself some food. It is beautiful food there. And if you're not driving, treat yourself to some of the drinks they got there. Like the Bugman's 6X. It's only available there. I don't think you can buy it anywhere else. And it's actually really nice. I need to visit this land just to take the piss out. I know, right? It feels like another age. Like the Uxbridge store moved. I mean, like that moved a few years back. It got priced out rent wise from the shopping centre, because it had a really good location as well. It was right near the entrance. He had the big ass KFC right next to it. They had security and everything. It was good, but they got priced out because the owners of the shopping centre wanted to knock through a whole bunch of the shops and put in a Primark, which they did. So now there's a giant Primark there, and the Games Workshop that turned into a Warhammer shop, it got moved down to the other end of the high street, so it's a couple of doors down from the other Subway shop. So, like, you know, just opposite the Civic Centre, that's where it is now. But it used to be a big one, and for the longest time they had the upstairs space available, so you could go in and game and stuff, and then they had to close that and leave it as stock, and they downsized to the back room for gaming, and it was like you had a couple of tables in there, and then they had to stop that completely because they had to reduce how much space they had open during the day because people's stuff kept going missing. And then they just ended up moving. Hey, Model A for Advantage, how you doing, buddy? Glad you could join us, mate. Hope you're well. Hope you're busy. We are busy. I'm not even painting that much either. You know what? I said I was going to get this Belcher done, but I've been just chatting away and laughing so much. I could have had it done, but I have no regrets at all because I'm having a right laugh. So thank you everyone so much for being here, and to all the people who were here earlier, who had to go early but will be watching it back again, thank you as well for joining me, joining us even, because yeah, I could be sitting here and I could be, you know, literally just talking to the air, and it's because of you lot that, you know, these live streams are what they are. So yeah, I can't take much of the credit really. I just provide the hangout essentially, and you lot are, you know, the true legends of the show. So give yourselves all a pat on the back and a round of applause, and yeah, I appreciate you all. What is this ale doing to me? Making me melancholy. It's also giving me a bit tongue-tied. I haven't, you know, I rarely ever drink anything these days, and I rarely ever drank anything anyway. Well, I've enjoyed this one. Would I get it again? Yeah, I would. Just painting some Team Yankee tank crews. Yeah. Teeny, are they teeny guys or are they teeny guys? It's 8 in the morning. I haven't slept, but glad I was. Oh, mate. Well, then, I'm glad. I'm glad you stuck around. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had such a laugh. You know what? To all the people out there who say, glue your Nighthaunt and everything together, you know what? Just slap them. Alright? The great thing about push fit, I mean, the negative is that you'll always have, like, the gap where everything is, like. But the great thing about them, and I'm not sure if the paint has sealed up the gaps at the moment. Ugh. The great thing about push fit was the ability to just separate it a bit. You could take them apart while you're painting them, so you could get to the hard to reach areas and then just push them back together again. Yeah, I can't do it with this one. This one is sealed up by the paint. It's not a problem. Just have to be a bit careful. So you're gonna have like a mega nap later? Or are you just gonna power on through the day and then just have an early night? Oh yeah, nailing this one. That was the trickiest one so far, and we nailed it. All it took was a bit of patience, a little bit of perseverance. So what's everyone been watching? Oh, you know what? I haven't watched the latest episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier yet. Saw last week's one and I kind of enjoyed it actually. So I can't wait to see today's one. Actually, on the recommendation from Elston, I actually started watching Future Man today, and I've basically binged the entire first season and the first couple episodes of the second season. And I'll tell you what, if you got a day to waste, I would suggest binging it, because it is so absolutely random and stupid, but in the best way possible. And like, there's so many references dropped from like past movies and stuff like that. It just gets silly as well. Probably sleep a few hours. My girlfriend wants to see me in the arvo, so yeah, freshen up, man. You have a good night, Vellum. Thank you again for tuning in. Much appreciated, mate. Have you seen Polar Opposites? I haven't seen Polar Opposites, no. Original Battlestar Galactica just restarted on the horror channel. I imagine is going to be terrible. Tapping it. Ooh, the original Battlestar Galactica. God, I remember watching that as a kid. Obviously it was like reruns, but it was like during the day, and it would be I think it was on Channel 5 actually, and they ran the whole thing right to the end. And I remember watching it over the holidays whenever I stayed over at my grandparents. Never saw the entirety of it, but I saw enough of it to get the gist of the story. It wasn't too bad actually. Those damn Cylons. And I haven't seen a single episode of the remake, so I don't know really what that's all about, to be honest. But apparently they changed a few bits in it just to expand the story a bit more. But I don't know. I think I saw how long the first episode was, and it was like a mini movie, and I thought, I ain't got time for that, and then I just never went back to it. guy who does Rick? What do you mean the guy who does Rick? He does both Rick and Morty. He does both voices. Oh. Okay. I just finished actually the other day. I finished watching the Lower Decks. That was fun. That was a lot of fun actually. I enjoyed that one. The new version on Blu-ray, but never got past a few first. Remake was great for a couple of seasons, then it went weird and well, nah. I co-created it. Ah, okay. Fair point, fair play. You know what? I do miss watching Rick and Morty sometimes. Like, it's been ages since I've seen a new season. I think the latest season that they had never made it to Netflix, did it? Not at least not over here. So I don't think I got to see the last season that they did. I can imagine it's going to be like one of those things where like the show is great for a couple of seasons, but then like because of popular demand, they're going to feel the squeeze to do more, and they don't need to. Like they should just find a sweet spot to leave it and not drag it out. Because the shock and awe of it is sort of faded a bit now. Wait, is it solar opposites or polar opposites? Alright, so I'm about halfway through painting this stupid lead belcher on these stupid chains for these stupid chain rasps, because that's what they're all about, the chains and the raspy, because they got sore throats, even though they don't technically have throats because they're ghosts. They're raspy ghosts because they're thirsty for not drinking too long. And it is just the longest thing ever. There's one good thing and bad thing about Games Workshop models these days, is the level of detail in them is absolutely amazing and helps to create so much immersion, but at the same time, when it comes to painting it, it's a lag. I remember the days when painting a Space Marine didn't take more than 20 minutes. You know, base coat, ink wash. Okay, you had to leave it to dry, the ink wash, but then you just dry brushed the heck out of it. Job done. Now you got, and like if you wanted to do extra detail, you could put extra detail on it, but you'd be painting it on freehand. Now there's just so much going on. All the extra pouches, extra sigils, and you got all those trophies and long. Solar opposites, okay. So it's similar but fresh, like different characters, crazy concepts. Okay. Oh, I'll give it a go. Where did you say that was on? Is that Prime or Netflix? Or Disney? Uh, 20 minutes, I guess you probably had low expectations. Well, you know, like, that was per squaddy, yeah, like, to do a whole squad of 5, yeah, it took you over an hour. Or a couple of hours, depending on how long you wanted to do it. Yeah, it didn't take too long to paint up a Space Marine. Now it takes a couple of nights just to paint up one Space Marine to completion, you know. Uh, 100 on Netflix or Amazon, really good. You know what? I've seen a couple of episodes of 100. I don't know. It was a bit hit and miss for me. And that sort of came out on the back of Hunger Games, didn't it? Ah, okay. Okay. Yeah, the star range is crazy. I think they just literally bought up pretty much any and every like company out there, just so they could have it all, like all those shows on there. It's ridiculous. It goes to show the reach of the Disney Corporation. You know, like how many companies are underneath that umbrella. I'm aiming to keep the painting simple, though, even though I've had bits. Ah, how are you gonna do that, mate? Just dry. Are you gonna dry brush it? I'll tell you what. Wait for that video that I'm gonna do on how how to do the grimdark painting style faster. All right, it might inspire you. Might even shock Mr. Rich as well, because he does some lovely paint jobs and then he just smushes streak and grime all over his minis, and then he adds all the extra stuff on top, and I think this might save him a bit of hassle as well. But we'll see. The Wilds on Prime was decent, and the Boys. Oh, the Boys. That was a good show. Can't wait for the new season of that. The little twists and turns in it are good fun, but it's just, I like the fact that it is making a mockery of the superheroes genre. So it's a nice breath of fresh air. How we doing for time? Oh, it's 10 o'clock already. Yeah, I mean, them owning Fox is madness, and it's not even like Fox needed to sell either. Fox were doing fine. I don't know why they bothered selling. There must have been someone twisting their arm for that sell, you know, because Fox was big enough. Okay, yeah, they put a lot of money into the X-Men franchises, and some of it was starting to not do so well, and they had some hit and miss movies, but TV wise they were doing really good. Disney Corp, a less well-known fact: in real life, you're a librarian. Okay, you deal with things like copyright law. It changes every few years, yeah. But the interesting thing is why. Is it because of Disney? Has been extended multiple times over the last 50 years. In each case, it just ahead of older Disney movies losing copyright. Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, Sony is the other thing as well. It will be game over if Sony ever sells to Disney. Ugh. But it'd be interesting if Disney would acquire just the media side of things, or if they acquired the tech side of things as well, because that's when things will get even more interesting. But I do like the fact that, you know, Disney sort of trialed this stuff on Netflix, saw how things worked, gauged the market, basically used Netflix as an experiment, and then they were like, yeah, we're gonna do our own thing now, screw you. You know, I mean, it sucked because I actually was enjoying Daredevil and Iron Fist. Not the first season Iron Fist, it wasn't that great. Jessica Jones and the whole Defenders thing, Luke Cage as well. And it was a shame that had to stop. It's an even bigger shame that they won't be able to bring it over to Disney. But hopefully they might bring the characters back at least. But yeah, money does give you power. Does indeed. Alright, let's have a look and see what they are doing over on the other channel. Are they still going? Blah 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 blah. Let's have a look ski. Oh, they're still going as well. They're all there. Little gits. And I didn't get an invite. Can you believe it? Shocking. Killed the Marvel series on it. Yeah. But I mean, like, it basically meant that Disney and Marvel could okay their own projects, you know, like Wonder Vision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier and all that. All that got the go ahead because of it. So I guess some good came out of it. And what I do like is that the movies are long, but they're not long enough to give enough character development to a lot of the characters. So this is a great way of doing the character development, getting some filler done, and then they can focus more on the direct sort of grander scale things in the movies. So yeah. it's a very smart business tactic for sure. But Disney have been doing it for a long time, you know, just buying out companies and then either forcing them not to produce anymore or bringing them under their umbrella. So it's nothing new. They got money to waste. I saw a documentary, right, where essentially where Disneyland is in Orlando. I think originally Walt Disney himself had planned to build his own city, and he had all these plans laid out for it and everything, and it ended up not going through. Like he pulled the plug on it, but it was so close to being a real thing before, you know, a theme park ended up being there instead. But he had the money and the power to be able to do that. That's how much control Disney have. It's crazy. And I'm sure if they wanted to now, they could do it. They could still do it. They could start their own city. I think Tesla, Elon Musk is looking to do this, a similar thing. Build his own city around a spaceport. So again, that'll be interesting concept. You have to convince people to live there in the first place. But yeah. Rumors that Daredevil might be in Spider-Man, yeah. Because they're doing the whole Spider-Verse thing, so it's very easy to just sneak in characters like that. Did you ever paint up the Mornfang Banshees? I really hated those models. Oh, the Maya Morn Banshees, yeah. Yeah, I've got. I only basically did what I've done here, so I've just painted up that much detail, but you know they got a bit of red on it. Hang on, bring them over. Just got to pop over here because I've got a whole box of minis over here, and yeah, the Maya Morn Banshees. They got a lot of detail on the bases, which is cool. Here we go. So that's the Thorn Queen, the Briar Queen, sorry. Right, because she's kind of a banshee. And then here's the Maya Morn Banshee. So again, it's just painted up to the standard of issue 19. So, you know, sprayed white, Nylock oxide on it, dry brush over with Corax again, pick out the red and the little bits of silver, but that's all that I've done so far with it, because like I said, I'm just trying to keep up with the standards that are set in each issue of Mortal Realms, just so I can manage and track how much I'm painting. Really hate the models. So many different bits of scenery and plot. Yeah. All the series on Disney do have a bigger budget and are somewhat better. Look at, yeah. But the Netflix ones were good. Oh, Punisher was excellent. Absolutely. That made the series, you know. I'm surprised money doesn't have Disney. Yeah, Disneyland has its own currency, so that's the thing. I've never been to Disneyland though. That's something that I might do one day. He wants to go to Mars, have his own planet. Yeah. You know how Elon Musk actually makes money? It's quite surprising. Isn't it basically Bitcoin, right? He buys and sells carbon offset. Really? Alright. That's the way to do it. With a bang from Musk. What company was he originally a part of? Oh, I can't remember either. But I mean, he worked so damn hard to get to where he is now. So, you know, kudos on him. He never gave up. He worked his ass off, you know. And it's one of those rare cases where it really does show that, you know, working hard does pay off. Because a lot of the time you see you know, wealthy business people, whatever, they get to where they are just by quirk of luck or from, you know, being brought up in a better financial situation or handed a business and just, you know, keeping it going. But he sort of really ground to get to where he is. I think that's why a lot of people like him. Plus, how many dreamers do you have in you know, that are in charge of such a huge company as SpaceX or Tesla? You know, it's crazy. Pies. So I was gonna stop the stream at 10, but you know what? I think I'll carry on until I get all of this done. I don't feel like painting this on my own. And I don't want to be out live streamed either. Yeah, I don't need 5 other people with me to have a good time. Like, I just need all you awesome legends in the chat. Shots fired. Right, well, that's that beer done, and I enjoyed it. So, well, I say beer. It's a pale ale. It's a citrus pale ale from Adnam Southwold. Ghost ship. Okay. So that was my first try of that one. Yeah, it was quite nice. Look at dendrites everywhere. Oh, it was PayPal, wasn't it? Yeah. Hey, that took off big time. Now you like, it's everywhere. You can't not use PayPal. Like, it's just so easy to use. Oh, I remember when PayPal first launched. You know, I was a bit skeptic of it because I was like, do I really want to have my details online saved somewhere? But the security's been so robust, and yeah, I mean, this makes things so much easier. Saves having to go to the bank you know, to have like a separate account for some things and all that. You know, you just like I strictly use PayPal for any purchases for this channel, because you know any and all donations that are made go straight to the PayPal account. And if I'm lucky enough to get anything from the affiliates as well, go straight onto the PayPal account, and then that way I can keep track of, you know, how much I've got to invest in the channel. And of course, if you wish to help support the channel, then there are plenty of ways to do so in the description below. You can make a donation, or you can hit the Teespring merch store, get yourself a super awesome hoodie like this. Ooh, it's got my face in cartoon. Or if you want, you know, you can go on Element Games. I've got a link there, and if you hit in that code that's provided as well, you get extra loyalty points, and it don't cost you anything extra. But yeah, that way is the best way, to be honest, because that way you're getting what you need for your hobby, and it don't cost you anything extra to support the channel. Elon Musk sold PayPal for $1.5 billion and personally received $165 million from its sale. With that $165 million, he looked to the stars and created another new company, SpaceX. His long-term plan was to help people live on other planets. In 2004, he helped set up the electric car company Tesla. He sold PayPal to eBay. Yeah. What you like about PayPal is like to think about it as sending money, unlike the tiny bit of money in the old bank account, which is Bill's money. Yeah. Yeah, that's it, essentially it. My PayPal money is my spending money. Anything that goes into my bank account is Bill's money, expenses money. Can't touch that. Gotta keep the kids and the wife fed and clothed, roof over our heads. Before anything else, hobby time. Yeah. Might be looking into wet pallets soon as well. Not that it would help with the metallics, to be honest, because from my past experience with homemade wet pallets, the metallics separate real easy on a wet palette. But I think for other colours it would be very useful to stop them drying out so quickly, especially because summer's coming up. Well, whatever kind of summer we get will be coming up soon. So, might look into it. So if anyone knows anyone who needs someone to review, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, yeah. If someone wants me to review a wet palette or a couple of wet palettes, they can get in contact with me. I'll be more than happy to check that out and give it a fair, balanced review. Because, like I said, I do have some experience of using wet palettes, just homemade ones. So I have that basic knowledge of how to use one and how to maintain it. But I'm also looking at, you know, looking at one of the better reviewed ones as well. I think red grass is one of the more hyped ones. So I have to look into it and see if it really is all that. So if anyone in the chat knows anyone from Redgrass, can hook me up, that'd be cool. Paper. Oh. Are you off then? If you are, then have a good night, mate. Rest up. Get yourself nice and fresh for the lady. And I'll see you around, buddy. Thank you so much for popping by. Yeah, you did more than pop by. You hung out for a good amount of time, so thank you so much for hanging out. And the trips down memory lane. Oof. I will not quit until I finish doing this lead belcher nonsense. Sleeping out my hand. Let's try to get away. Yeah, you have a good night, mate. I know, right? Small world after all. Cool, that's that one done. Look at that. It's nearly 10:30 at night and we've still got 5 viewers. Absolute mad people. All legends in my book. And to be thankful, I'm just happy that you haven't got anything better to do tonight as well. In the nicest way possible. do. This is long. You know what? It doesn't even matter how much you paint the night haunts. When it comes to the chains, there's no amount of muscle memory that can help you speed up the process. It is so long. I have to give this brush a real good clean tonight. It's doing alright though, it's holding itself together. Considering that, you know, like, metallics are harder wearing on brushes, and I've been using it for a long time now. With the occasional rinse, because of course I can't let the paint dry on the bristles. That's like the quickest way to ruin it. But yeah, it's holding up alright. It's keeping its point, it hasn't really bent or anything. And I'm more accustomed to using artificial brushes than I am sable brushes, because, you know, pretty much the entirety of my 25-year hobby experience has been using Games Workshop brushes, and they've all been artificial. So, you know, you can predict how it will act to a degree. And these sort of act similar because it is made, you know, sort of the same way. It's artificial, but at the same time, there's that little bit of difference to it where it, you know, it's just holding together so nicely. Where the GW ones, in my experience, they sort of start falling apart quite easily if you don't rinse them consistently. And look at that, it's doing alright. Stuff from the beginning of that. You know what, this cyberpunk playlist was actually really good. It's got a nice mix of stuff in there. It's got a bit of energy, it's got a bit of chill. Ooh, getting a bit close there. The good thing that because it holds its point, it means I could do these more trickier angles a lot more precisely. Which means a lot less cleanup later on, which is great news. There we go. Now something we can block the colour in a bit better, a bit easier. Flatter panels. So much quicker to do. There we go. So who we got left in the chat then? It says we've got 4 viewers at the moment. Who are these mysterious legends who are staying up till the late hours of the night? Yeah, that Broken Toad sponsorship with this video. I think they sponsor enough people as it is. I don't think they would want to sponsor me. I mean, I would love it if they did. absolutely would love it. Because I am really enjoying their brushes, and I'd be more than happy to push people, not even have to push people, just guide them towards Broken Toe, because after using Citadel brushes for so long, it's just really nice to use something different, and it's, you know, like I said, they do so well. But sponsorship or no sponsorship, you know, if something's crap, I'm gonna say it's crap. If something's good, I'm gonna say it's good. That's just my integrity, you know. Integrity. There we go. Lovely stuff. Did you hit enter before you finished typing out the hashtag? There we go. Yeah, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to put brush down and quickly clean it. And then I'm going to grab some of those sweets that the pickles sent to me. And I think I'm going to watch the Winter Soldier, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, in peace and quiet, enjoy it, try and look for all the little details and hints and stuff in there. It's going to be a good night, a good way to end the night. There we go. Flash dude, how you doing? Nice to see you in the chat. This one specifically is one of the Briar Queen's fawns, but the others are just the regular Nighthaunt chain rasps that you get. Or are you talking about the brushes? If you're talking about the brushes, these ones are the Broken Toad Fugazi Series Mark III, but they're not the only ones that I got. I also got the Sable ones as well. Spawn. I also got these Miniature Series Mark III Klinsky Sable brushes as well. These ones I got for Christmas, and these ones I was very lucky enough to win in the raffle to celebrate the Pickle Jar hitting 1,000 subscribers. And they're doing a good job. I've only used them once before today, and yeah, no, it's a nice, easy transition from using the Citadel brushes. Which ones are better? What, between the Kalinsky Sable and the Fugazi? To be honest, I think each one does a different job better. If you want to block in colours and do metallics, then these Fugazi ones seem to be doing a really good job. You know, they hold themselves together nicely and they perform well, but because they're a bit stiffer, it means you can get thicker amounts of paint out on more surfaces, and they're a bit more robust about it. But the Kalinsky Sable are beautiful brushes for blending, for doing shade work, for highlights, because you know they have that little bit of a bend to them, which means that you can just like use the side of the brush very effectively to get to those hard to reach corners that you want to highlight. So I would say have the Fugazi ones as your workhorse, get the bulk of the work done, get the big colours out, get your metallics out and that sort of thing, and then swap over to your Kalinsky Sable ones to do more advanced work, and then just keep your old beaten up Citadel brushes to do the technical paints and stuff that would, you know, ruin your nice brushes. Because you know those ones, you're not gonna mourn them as much if they start falling to bits from using rust effects or whatever, or streaking grime. But yeah, that's my my verdict on it, really. But let me know how you get on with them as well. As I said, I have used other brushes before. I did a whole video on this, really. But yeah, I had used other brushes before. I've used pound shop brushes. I've used Winsor & Newton, because like you can get them pretty much anywhere. You can get them in your local WH Smith, like in the RE bit. They were alright. And you know, Citadel brushes, they were never done by just one company over the years. They have been done by a couple of different companies over the years, so their quality has changed over the years. I'm getting a dry throat. I don't normally talk this much, so that's why my throat's not used to it. Alright. But yeah, essentially these are just, they're nice upgrades if you're used to using Citadel. But they're nicer, they last longer, and as long as you look after them, you'll get a fair bit of mileage out of them as well. What's this? Spawn Kev. Spend a penny on Kev. Do you mean to actually spend a penny on me, or do you mean to pee on me? Of which I'm not a fan of, but thank you. Let's see. Nice flat area. Quick and easy to do. Paint comes out nice. But even as well. Hardly any streaks at all. Get yourself some Fugazi brushes for sure. I like the Fugazi ones for about a month. The smallest one is starting to curl on the tip, using the soap and everything. But yeah, no, I think, you know, if you're using a brush often enough, you will start getting a bit of a curl, especially to the tip, because it all depends on how you use the brush. If you are literally just using your brush to do this, yeah, just to you know, brush down and away from yourself, the tip will never curl because you're just pulling the bristles straight. But because naturally when you brush, you do poke and prod a little bit, it doesn't matter how careful you are, and if you do that enough, it will bend the tip of it, and it's something that can't be avoided. But I use, if my brushes start to bend at the tip, I use that at an advantage, because it means that I can get round like corners like this, you know. I could just get round those corners a lot easier if I had that bent tip. But because my tip's quite straight, I have to turn everything at a more difficult angle. So don't hate the curl, embrace the curl, because you can use that to your advantage. Definitely. I place that in. Don't place it in the hands of the supporters. Shocking. Oops, I think I went a bit heavy-handed there. Oh well. Right. If you ever put too much down, just make sure you rinse your brush, make sure it's still wet, and then just rub away the offending area like that. Draw it on the paper. There you go. Look at that. If you do it quick enough while the paint's still wet, you basically erase your mistake. See how clean that wrist looks now? I had a massive blob of lead belcher on that. Look at that. See, I give away free tips all the time. Getting a lot of messages. What's this? Oh, I got a message from Mugwump. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's it, man. Embrace the curl. Oh, that's what he was on about. Still trying to remember how to do. It's been years. That's amazing. I'm sure he wouldn't mind me showing this, because, you know, it's amazing work of art. But he just sent this to me. He did that with wax and hot iron. That's amazing. And he did that while watching the show. That is crazy. Look at the colours on that. Oof. There we go. That's what I like about the Chilling Network. So many different people with different talents and skill sets. So that's why I always like to promote the Chilling Network. So of course, if you're not familiar with the Chilling Network, it does center around the Chilling Wargamers, but it also centers around a growing community of content creators and just regular fans of the hobby. And they've got a great social network going as well. So go onto the Facebook page, I'll have a link in the description below, and they'll have a link to the Discord. You could go check them out, and yeah, like the Discord group is fantastic. So 100% go check them out. It's like the most friendliest, approachable group of hobbyists you'll ever know. Full of legends. Oh, getting close to the end. I can see the end in sight. You know when you're getting so like dragged down from batch painting the same bloody colour for ages. So I've been doing this for an age. Making me feel like an ant from Lord of the Rings. Okay. Miss any bits? Look around. Yeah, I did. I'm not going to bother with the chains on the ground because that base will need to be painted eventually, so there's no point doing that because it's going to be a whole mess. Just got to do this. Bloody spiked collar. I mean, it looks great and all, but it's just another bloody painful thing to paint. Can't they just make models look awesome but easy to paint? You know what I mean? That's not just power armor or super chunky armor. They're saying that, you know what? I guess a mini is only as complicated as you want it to be. There we go. Right, that one's done. Oh, 2 more. We're almost there. We're almost there. Okay. Alright. I'll wait to get a proper desk and a proper chair. It's gonna help so much. Feel my knee going a bit funny from sitting in this chair so long because I'm on a you know, one of those fold out dining room tables with the fold up chairs that you could just like wheel to the side of the room. It takes up no space. It's just it's such a pain to sit at. It's not the right height or anything, so my knee just feels so sore. I don't know why my knee feels sore. I think it's probably just the way I've perched myself. Might be leaning forward a bit too much, but tell you what, when you're in your 30s, things just start falling apart so easily. It's unbelievable. I can't imagine how it's going to be like when I get into my 40s and 50s. This one was a much easier one to do. Thank goodness for that. This is a funky tune. Can you imagine having your entire head encased? That must be suffocating. That's just a grim way to go. Ooh, spilled a bit. There we go. Cleaned up that steak. Nice. Okay. We're on our last one. The Forever Hung. The Forever Hung? Hanged? Hung? So I got the code from the White Dwarf magazine, you know, the one that gets all the free games, right? And you know, it's big thanks to a very awesome chap who wasn't going to use it because he didn't have a PC. And the other day I downloaded the Warhammer Underworlds game. And you only get 2 playable factions. You get the Curse Breakers. Or was it Steelheart's Curse Breakers, which was the Stormcast set, and the Khorne Blood Warriors, which I think is basically the beginner set. Oh no, it's not actually. No, the beginner set actually, you got Blood Reavers instead of Blood Warriors, didn't you? Anyway, yeah, I played a bit of it. I did all the tutorials, and it, you know, after a couple of games, you get kind of into the rules and everything. Seems like a fun enough game, but I only played against the bot, against the different factions that are available to play against, and yeah, I can see why some people enjoy it, because it is quite competitive, you know, because it's less about going around chopping the heck out of each other and more about trying to score as many objective points as possible and just being sneaky with your actions and the cards that you have and stuff like that. So it's a nice concept of the game, really. But I had to delete it because I knew that if I started playing online, then the base cards that you start off with wouldn't be enough, and then I'll sort of be tempted into buying packs of cards or boosters or whatever, and then like, yeah, that'll be a whole nother financial drain. But yeah, if you like playing the tabletop version, then you know you're gonna enjoy the PC version as well. But I think I'm gonna try and get some time to try out one of the other games like Vermintide. Never played Vermintide. I was always interested by it, but I never got around to it. Which is a shame, really. So I think Vermintide will be the next one. I've already played Dawn of War so many times. I haven't played the third one. That got some harsh reviews, I think. I think it was like very hit and miss with the fans of the Dawn of War franchise, and it was trying to do too many things at once. But yeah, I enjoyed the first Dawn of War though. The first Dawn of War was awesome. Especially the expansions. The expansions were great. Back when an expansion was exactly that, it was an expansion. It added more to the game. It was like a game within itself. Those were the days before the DLC thing happened. Alright, there we go. But Soulstorm was really good though. Being able to play the game over an entire star system, that was fun. Give that a good clean. Ah, look at that. Barely anything on it all. Might not have to put soap on it after all. So I found that when you first have the Fugazi, you gotta give them a real good rinse, because there might be some loose bristles on them. Give them a bit of a brush soap treatment, and then they'll be good to use. And yeah, not been bad at all. Been happy with the performance. Right, so I'm going to leave it there now because it is now hit 11. It means we've been on air for 3 hours, which has just flown by. I don't know why it took 3 hours to paint just the silver bit. Well, I know why, it's because it was so much fun. But hey, Different Gear TV, how you doing? The other stream is finished now. Oh, they finished. They only just finished now. Blimey, I was just about to finish as well. I'm on an hour longer than usual. But I was just painting all this up essentially, and we were having a good chat, visiting memory lane a lot. It turned out that Void and who else was it? Oh yeah, Void Captain Bazooka and G the Hyper Sapien. We all grew up within a stone throw of each other. Who knew? So that was good fun. But yeah, I'm gonna call it now because it's getting late and I've got a little bit of chill time before I go to bed. So thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. You're all absolute legends. And yeah, like I said before, without you, there wouldn't be a live stream. So thank you again. As always, all the social media links are in the description below, so please go check out all those Facebook groups, because all of them are amazing. But definitely check out the Chilling Wargamers, and all my social media links are there as well. And if you do wish to support the channel, then by all means go for it. You got links for donation, and you also got the Element Games link as well, where you can get yourself all your hobby supplies and models and everything at a good discount, and it costs you nothing extra. I get a little kickback, so it's all good. And if you enter that code, you get extra crystals, which are the loyalty points, which you can use straight up for buying more stuff. So it's well worth it. So yeah, chill up. So yeah, thank you again for tuning in, and I hope you all have a good night, have a good weekend, and I'll see you on Monday for our next playthrough. So it's gonna be fun. So have a good night, peace out. Gunstar Hero, you were there as well, you little like. Oh. Have a good night, mate.